guys, welcome back. Welcome to another video of the Feeling Studio. Today I'm really going to just be talking about like state of affairs, you could say like a quarter life crisis per se, essentially speaking. But I also think it's a realization that a lot of young people like myself and within my generation, those younger, are thinking to themselves right now. And it's that you cannot work a 9 to 5 anymore. You cannot work, the 40 hours a week is dead. Like people, you better be working 60, 70 hours a week. Essentially, you have no life, literally. And honestly, it's a plan. And yes, plans don't go accordingly, I know, because it's just life. But this is why I'm building this YouTube channel. This is what, because here's the thing, my TikTok is at 2,500 subscribers. 2,500. I'm able to go live. I'm able to collab with people. I'm able to sign up to ambassador program. Like I can actually, I get, one of my last posts got like 10,000 views. So my TikTok is just on the up and up, basically. It is. And when it comes to my YouTube is the last thing I'm going to be hustling in, you guys, the viewers. But when it comes to just after that, honestly, because I figured out Instagram, but it's like a lot of these people who have like hundreds of thousands of subscribers or followers on Instagram, you don't even know how they got those. Like seriously, like a lot of these pages, they just pop up out of nowhere, and it's like, wait a minute, like this page has only existed since August of 2023. It's only posted 5 things, and you need to tell me right now, this page that has posted 5 things that are like mediocre posts, basically, has 568 subs or, 2 million followers or some shit like that. And it's like, you look at the engagement rates and stuff like that, and the engagement rates are lower in comparison. This is how you know a person has bought followers. This is how you know a person has bought likes or this or that. That's how you know. I'm just going to say this right now. I would buy an Instagram channel. I would not buy a YouTube channel. I would. I like the grind. I like the hustle. I'm full down. Instagram, you don't make shit money on Instagram. Instagram, I just fucking buy, throw away trash money. Here you go. Here's $300 for Social Tradia or one of these like social media sites where, basically these channels are for sale, per se, essentially speaking, where you can buy these Instagram pages. And you can buy Instagram pages. You can buy Instagram pages for hella cheap. Like seriously, like there's Instagram. Like if you buy from like an escrow service, from reputable like social media page where people put their social media pages for sale, it's like for like I think it was like 1 million followers. It was like $2,000 or something like that for like one page that had like like 2 or 3 million. Like it's unbelievable. Like it's seriously affordable. Like there was this one dude who was selling his page. His page had 30,000 subs, and he was selling it for $70. Like literally, like it's just like that's the thing. Like my plan is this: to restart my online dropshipping business when it comes to fitness and health. Fitness, health apparel, essentially speaking. My target market, I already know my target market. It's running, it's gym, it's fitness, it's track and field. So there's 3 markets. One is a massive market, which is the gym and fitness industry. That is bigger than running. Running, which is also very big. Track and field, small market, I would have to say, per se. But yeah, when it comes to surviving, essentially speaking, I would do that. And I would also, because here's the thing, my SEO was 98 rated by Google. So that's like, with a basic ass Shopify store, that's very, very good. Like this person knows what they're doing. They know how to tagline. They know how to, they just, they know what they're doing. They know the bells and whistles. I was getting a lot of visits. The problem is I wasn't getting sales because my website was basic. So I failed, you could say, within that area because I had to leave. I had to move to New York because me and my mother had just bought a house, and that I'm currently in right now. And it's just, the thing is this, like, I'm deeply thinking about this because it's very, I mean, it's very thought provoking on where our economy is. It's very thought provoking on how the nine to five has completely disappeared and, out of existence essentially in this country. And it's like, yeah, I would buy a theme so that's how it looks more convincing. Because here's the thing, I mean, you need to like get a person's attention. People have very short attention spans. You have 7 to 8 seconds. Like, you have corporations. Corporations literally hire the best psychologists within the country for their marketing departments to study psychology and to brainwash people into buying their products. They literally do. So it's like, that's the thing. I would definitely buy a theme, and that would I know that would increase my sales by a bit, like minusculely. But the whole purpose is for me to get to a place where I'm financially free. Because it's like, I never want to work for a corporation again. I never want to work for a job again. Like, if I have to, I'm being paid royalties when it comes to like an ambassador program, and I have like 300,000 followers or something like that, and I'm getting a royalty for every purchase or clicks per minute per se, essentially speaking. I'm not kidding. Like, that is how I would make money. Those are one of the ways I would how I would want to make money instead of just working a job today. So it would be posting multiple links, being signed up with these ambassadorship programs to these companies, and essentially like, okay, person buys a product, great, I get a percentage royalty commission, or, and I know I'm probably saying royalty, incorrect, but or it's clicks per minute. I get paid on base buy and commission. Some companies will actually do that literally. So it's just, and I've seen YouTube channels, I've seen Instagram channels where there's like 6 or 10 different links. They have like a million followers and they're just getting paid. They're literally just getting paid. Like, they're getting paid to like companies are literally paying these people to like wear their products and stuff like that. Hey, we'll pay you $500, for like a post because it's the exposure and stuff like that. We'll pay you $500 for one post, and it's like, then at the same time they're signed up to the ambassador program and they're just getting paid. They're literally getting paid like commissions, 20-30%, essentially speaking. That's usually the usual commissions, like 20 to 30%. Really 25% is the mid-tier average for commission. But it's like, that's honestly, like, if I were to post like 2 links that were like for psychedelic companies based in Canada or something, or based in the like for shrooms per se, for magic mushrooms, like, I would post those two in my YouTube, and another thing I would post is my shop, while at the same time like saying like, oh, we have a sponsor today, this and that. Not saying that I control the company, but we have a sponsor. Go check out their massage guns, this and that. Essentially speaking, oh, he got sponsored. Oh, who's this big YouTuber? Like, I'm talking to you guys right now for my plans, for you guys to go and implement them, for you guys to go out into the world and implement these plans. Because here's the thing, I'm telling you my plans. These are not a secret. I'm not keeping these plans a secret. I'm not keeping these plans a secret, and the reason why is because I believe people can do this. If you want to get out of the rat race, you can do this. If you don't want to work a 9 to 5 anymore, you can fucking leave. Like, seriously, it just. But yeah, those links when it comes to ambassadorship programs, I would definitely do those. And like I said, the last hustle I'm really hustling is my YouTube channel. Is this YouTube channel, The Feeling Suit? Because my TikTok is established, my Instagram, whatever. I'll just buy a page. I don't care. Seriously, most people don't even make money on Instagram. They don't. Literally, I know a friend, great friend of mine, who, even she says to me, she has like 20,000 followers on Instagram. All of her clients come from Facebook. All of her clientele comes from Facebook. All of it. None of it comes from Instagram. She doesn't make jack watt on it. Most people don't make jack watt on Instagram. They don't. They either make it from Facebook or they make it from YouTube. That's literally where it's at. So yeah, that's what I would do. I'd have a drop shipping company, say like, oh, I've been sponsored by the, disguise as such. Another thing I would do is the links, like I said previously, tied towards the ambassadorship program. And another thing, the third and final thing I would do, which is probably before the two things I've proposed previously within this video, is I would do B2B. Literally B2B, business to business. That's what I would do. I would put my TikTok, my Instagram, which the Instagram I already bought, my YouTube, which I am currently building right now with your guys' amazing help, which I couldn't thank you enough. Seriously, thank you so much. I would put these three into a pyramid tier and I would go up the pyramid scale. That's what I would do essentially. I would literally do it. I would start a podcast. I would start interviewing people when it comes to like, people, because I definitely know some guys who used to, or who even still, you could say, do psychedelics and stuff like that, or practice psychedelics. Plus also track and field, plus also athletics, sports psychology, talking to a sports psychologist, inviting them on. Like, that's the thing. I want to literally turn this thing into a business, essentially speaking, where it's like the Feeling Studio Instagram, the Feeling Studio TikTok, the Feeling Studio YouTube. I want to turn it into a business. That's literally what I want to turn it into. I want to turn it into a business where it's like, okay, we're making money from donations when it comes to people who watch our videos that are an hour plus more long when it comes to full interview segments. And, with these well renowned people, or even with these like psychologists, or, certain people that you could say delve into drug use, you could say, or who have also relapsed, or people who've actually gotten clean when it comes to hard drugs because of the use of psychedelics. So that's the thing. I want to turn this into. I'm gonna be real. Like, I don't want to be like no jumper. Adam 22. I don't. I don't believe anything of what that guy believes in. Everything that dude is, he's the establishment. He's part of the. He's definitely part of the establishment. Like, there's no doubt about that. Like, but I want it to be something similar to where it's like Joe Rogan or Concrete Clips. Maybe interviewing an ex-DEA agent. Literally, I'm not kidding. Like, just fucking, like, for real. Like, I'm very, very, very persistent and willing to turn this channel into, or even interviewing, since I also have critiques to capitalism, because I'm sorry, like, I don't, listen to me, I'm not against capitalism, but it's like the fact that it's like we have so many rich people, the fact that we live in the richest country on the face of the earth, and we can't solve homelessness. I think that's bullshit. I think that's other bullshit. That should not be happening. Like, if we're the greatest country in the world, we should be taking care of our citizens. That's a true American patriot. Honestly, that's the truth. But back to what I'm talking about, back to what I was discussing, it's just, I want to turn it into something like that, basically. The podcast. I want to turn it into something where it's like that. Ex-DEA agents, ex-convicts, athletes, like, just basically like performance enhancers, steroid busts, ex-steroid dealers, like, I want to turn it into a whole fucking thing where it's just like that, you know, basically where it's catchy, where it's phrasy, that's basically what I want it to be. Like, yeah, I'm like, here's the thing. I would not post, like, I would probably post some of my athletics on YouTube, but most of my athletics at that point would be on Instagram. Because let's be real, Instagram, and this is good advice, this is true advice. I've spoken to someone who actually has 500,000 subscribers. He said this to me. You don't talk on Instagram. Instagram, you don't post your interviews. We don't post jack watch shit. We don't. We don't post anything. If we post something, it's something beautiful. It's a photo. It's a reel. It's daily life. It's haha happy. People on Instagram have stupidly short attention spans. It's not like YouTube. It's not like TikTok. TikTok, you have a little bit more because it's like 60 seconds. But Instagram is stupidly steroid short attention spans. Literally, very short attention spans. That's why you just post reels. That's why you put, like, there's videos that are like 10 seconds long, and they have millions of likes, millions of replays, millions of like subscribing, sensing, sharing, literally, like, and it only lasts like 10 seconds, and it's something like really blank and vain, like just bland, essentially speaking. Whereas in like TikTok, it's a little bit more. YouTube, it's more in discussion. And then you sign up for premium, like, if you become a premium member, it's like, oh, you get an hour or hour and a half. It's like more, essentially speaking. And it's like, I used to listen to these guys when I worked. I used to work really hard jobs. I was working at the airport. I hated this job. I was working at the airport, and I remember like just cleaning the seats, doing the seats and stuff like that. I had my earbuds in, wireless earbuds, listening to this podcast while I was cleaning airplanes, while I was offloading luggage. Like, while I was under the plane refilling the water or draining the water, I was doing that. I remember doing that shit. I remember draining the lavatories. I remember draining the water supply of airplanes. I was under a 737. I was under an Airbus 320. I was under an Airbus. Oh my god, this fucking plane was huge, man. I was under an Airbus A330. The plane was fucking ginormous, and it took like, I had to fill up the water. Oh my god, it was crazy. It was crazy. So I attached the water, I remember, to the jet bridge, and I was just listening to this guy talking about like dating, talking about like society, talking about like, and I'm just fully fucking invested. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. Wow, that's pretty cool. Sometimes I'd even start laughing. Because there's some, like, my job when I used to listen to these guys, like these podcasters and stuff like that, like Concrete Clips. I just, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I was listening to people talking about like, oh, I used to do this, oh, I used to deal this, oh, I used to deal drugs, oh, I used to do credit card this or that, or oh, I used to do this or that. I was listening to these guys literally while working at the airport. You can't. Could you imagine that? You're working in an airport with TSA up the fucking wazoo. Like, probably. I was listening to these guys. I was listening to these guys. Like, seriously, and it was entertaining. It was entertaining. It was joyful. It was happy, and it's like I was fully invested. That's exactly what I want to deliver to you guys, the viewers. That's exactly, I want to make you guys feel happy, invested, and I'm trying to talk to this guy right now. I'm not sure if he's going to come on or not. Because here's the thing, like, the kind of discussions that I talk about when it comes to like psychedelic use, people are very scared. People are very, like, here's the thing, if that person gets found out by their company, they're gone. Like, it's over. They're fired, they can't pay rent, then they're homeless. It's like, and that's the main emphasis, and that's the problem with our system. It goes right back into, you know, the new world order, essentially speaking, which, they want. But back to what I was discussing, like, can you imagine like those watch hours, like, just going up and going up and going up and going, like, it just, people are just listening to the video. People are working, like, you think people are just like sitting down, like I am talking to you right now, and are just watching the video. Like, that's not what's happening. People are cooking breakfast. People are listening. People have the TV on, watching, listening to your video and stuff like that, eating or something like that while they're eating, listening to your video. That's literally how this works. Most people are not fully tuned in when it comes to attention-based videos. Like, when it comes to like YouTube and stuff like that, most people are not tuned in. Most people, they're doing something else while they're listening to you talk. Almost like a second friend, almost like a neighbor, almost like a person who you wake up to. And they're like part of your morning routine. Like, there's videos that I listen and watch during my morning routine. Literally. There literally is. And I suppose many of you guys who are watching this video also have done the same thing. So it's just, yeah, that's honestly what I would do. I would buy the Instagram channel after my YouTube gets successful, you know. Then I would just B2B it. I would just B2B three of the, you know, social medias and build it up to a 100,000. And at that point, since I'm at 2,500 for Instagram, like at that point, yeah, I probably would still be working super part time. But yeah, I'd hire a manager. I'd literally just I'd hire an editor or something like that, and I would just be like, hey, here's this, here's that, here's this, here's that. It would just and I would just build it to 100,000. And at that point, I would leave my job. And yes, I would. Sadly, I would be laying off the editor, but I would be doing this full time. I would go full time onto YouTube, like literally 5 days a week. 5 days a week, I'd be posting something. 5 days a week, athletics, working out, gym talk, fitness talk, podcasts, drug use, relapsing, how not to relapse, um, sketchy content like, you know, maybe a current user or something, essentially speaking. I would disguise their voice and make them anonymous. Like, it's just, that's the thing. I would turn, it would be the Feeling Studio. I mean, it's such a catchy title, it's such a catchy name. I mean, that's what I would do. That's honestly what I would do because it's just, and plus also since I now own a house, I would buy a house in Europe, you know, because I am going to be leaving the United States soon. I would buy a house in Europe and I would live in a van. I'm not kidding. I'd want to travel around the country. That's what I would want to do. Literally, I'd want to travel around the country and I'd want to see beautiful different places and stuff like that while also making money from that pass. It would just be passive income. Literally, at that point, it would just, most of my, it would be 24/7 passive income. I would invest into gold bullion, definitely. So that's how, you know, everything is safe. Because it's like, you cannot trust the stock market. Like, you can't. You can't trust these IRAs. You can't trust the stock market. You can't trust the pension. I knew a guy that worked for the government. You can't even trust the government. Oh, it's a taxpayer. Nope. You can't even trust them either. I knew a guy who worked for the government as a post officer, and you won't even believe this, but this man, literally, he worked for them for 33 fucking years. All because he got sick. He got sick. He had to go to the hospital. It's like, hey, you have this amount of time until, you know, you can return to work at USPS. He was sick. He had cancer. And then he was fired. And guess what? Hey, am I going to be getting my pension? Am I going to be getting my severance? Nope. I knew another guy who worked for a company. He worked for Yellow. He was one of the people that worked for Yellow, you know, that truck logistics company, you know, truck shipping logistics company. He worked for them for 27 fucking years. He had, guess how much money he had? He had $60,000 in a pension. 60,000. Company bankrupt. $60,000 of his pension money was gone. It was gone. It vanished. They took this man's money and ran off. And meanwhile, the CEOs that filed for bankruptcy, guess what? They're probably on some yacht somewhere in the fucking Bahamas, having champagne, laughing, buying underage hookers or some shit. You know, it's just, or barely of age hookers. It's just, like I said, you look at the system for what it is. You look at the system of what it's for. Like, I just see, I would rather be independent. It's like, why would I sell my soul to Hollywood? Why would I do that? Why would I go to these Hollywood parties and just sell my soul to these people and give my body to these people and just essentially just be used as a blackmail pawn, all to get Hollywood work and jobs? Because let's be real, that's how it is today. That is the Hollywood industry. You have to sleep your way to the top in the Hollywood industry. And this is another thing I would also interview people on. If there was ex people, you know, if there was people that worked in Hollywood or used to work in Hollywood, I would ask them some of these questions, or like about Hollywood fixers or some shit like that. You know, they would get rid of certain problems for celebrities. Because here's the thing, like celebrities, like if there's like some controversy, this or that, they'll pay someone off. to literally threaten that person's family or this and that, you know, like some private investigation company. And that's it. Like I've spoken to private. I'm a former Angelino. I used to live in Hollywood. I used to live in Los Angeles. I knew this one guy who was a private investigator. He would get pamphlets all the fucking time. Hey, come to this Hollywood Hills party. Come to this Hollywood Hills party. Come to this freaky ranky dick party. And it's like he would always decline because he knew it was a blackmail. He knew it was a blackmail. He knew that there was. So it's like you literally have to sell your soul. You literally have to sell your soul to these people only to get paid, only to make it, only to become a millionaire. And that's why you're seeing a lot of like independent artists, independent athletes. A lot of athletes are rejecting shoe contracts now because of how predatory they are. They're rejecting Nike, the absolute worst. They're rejecting Adidas. They're rejecting Puma. They're rejecting it all. They're staying independent. It's like I'd rather build my brand like I'm doing right now, make money from ambassadorship programs, like when it comes to these companies, when it comes to links, you know, when they click on it and then you get a percentage commission or you get CPM, clicks per minute, essentially speaking. They would rather do that, or even paid for a post by a company. They would rather do that than sign a contract that's worth six figures. They would rather do that than sign a contract worth even six figure. Like, what does that tell you about the world that we live in today? It's quite brutal. It's a very, very cutthroat, brutal, chauvinist world. It really is. It's very brutal. Like that's the thing. Like that's why I want to be independent. That's why I want to be alone. I mean, that's the truth. If I were to ever sell with a company, sign with a company, that company, I would need to see their whole fucking spreadsheet. Like, what do you do? This and that. How do you help? How do you give back in a certain group? Like, for real. I'm not kidding. And very rarely companies will do that. Most of the time, when companies lie and say, "Oh, we give back," it's just a shell company. That's what it is to avoid paying taxes. So it's just like that's the thing. Like I would rather stay independent, and a lot of people are staying independent. I know independent singers. I know independent artists. I know independent. Like that's the thing. Friend through friend. Like seriously, they do not want to sign these record deals. They do not want to sign these TV movie deals. They don't because they know what the cost. They know what that costs. They know what they have to do. They have to go to that Hollywood party. They have to sell their soul. It's a sad travesty of our world today because it's like you know we're taught as kids to follow our dreams. We're taught as kids to be loyal to the system. Meanwhile, the system literally kicks you in the ass when you're down on the ground or kicks you in the stomach when a recession or economic depression happens. You know, like the pandemic or like you know like 2008. Essentially speaking, you cannot rely on these people anymore. You cannot rely on any of these people anymore. It's literally sink or swim in today's economy. It's literally sink or swim. And unfortunately, with how politicized people are, it's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get much worse before it gets better, unfortunately. That's the end of the video.